Buying a home can be one of the biggest financial investments you ever make, but it also comes with some great rewards, including the pride of ownership and building a nest egg where you're not paying a landlord, you're paying yourself, and building equity in a home. When buying a home, there are 5 mistakes you should avoid, at least 5. We'll go over 5 today that I've seen during my real estate practice, so stay tuned. The first one deals directly with what's happening in 2025, and that's waiting for interest rates to drop. But you say, hey, interest rates are way too high, it's making homes too expensive. We have seen some downward movement, particularly in the Phoenix area, and with new home builders on the price of houses. They know that interest rates are too high, and so they're making some special accommodations to try to sell their homes, whether they're an owner or a builder. But what happens if you do wait? Let's say interest rates drop, and they've been dropping since the first of the year. If they continue to drop, you're going to have more people entering the market, which means you have more competition, which means the house that you really wanted may not be in the market by the time you go to look. And at the same time, even though rates are dropping, labor costs, lumber, steel, construction manpower may continue to go up, so the price will still go up even though the interest rate has dropped. You've probably heard this from realtors: marry the home but date the rate. And what that means is buy the home, and when interest rates drop, you can just refinance at a lower rate. But there's no certainty in waiting for interest rates to drop. And so how do you solve this? Easiest way to find out if you qualify for the home that you want is to get a pre-qualification from a lender. Usually they're good for 90 days, so even if the rate drops over those 90 days, you'll have time to get in there and renegotiate that lower rate. But if it doesn't drop in those 90 days, you know you have a timeline on which to make a decision. The second point is to strike when the iron is hot. You've heard that old axiom. You got to move when the market's ready, when you're ready. I've had clients do this. I've shown, one client I had saw 22 homes before they decided which one they wanted to buy. It was the very first one that I showed them. By that time, there were 4 offers on the property and the price went up. They didn't strike when the iron was hot, and they missed that one home that they really wanted because they got outbid on it. It simply became unaffordable for them at a certain point with multiple offers on the home. When we meet, we're going to talk about your wants and needs, and if we find a house that meets your wants and needs, consider moving quickly on it before it goes away, because the best houses are going to be sold first. The third thing I saw, particularly during 2021 and 2022, was skipping inspections. People thought that if they put in their offer that they weren't going to do an inspection, if they waived the inspection, that the buyer was more likely to take their offer. And in some cases that was true. But as an agent, I will always recommend you get an inspection, whether it's on a resale home or a new build. And the resale home's easy. You make the offer, they accept it, you have 10 days to do all your inspections generally. You can agree on a longer time or a shorter time if you want. Make sure that everything is right with that home. With a new build, we can do inspections from the time they put the slab down to when it goes into sticks, framing, to the time the electrical goes in until a final walkthrough. And for the new builds, it's a little more expensive to do those inspections during those phases, but it's worthwhile, particularly when the market heats up and builders start building like crazy. I've seen some significant defects that we've had to have builders correct because we did an inspection. If you want to make your offer a little bit more palatable, instead of skipping inspections altogether, we can line up the inspector that you want and see how fast they can do the inspection. Then, in the due diligence period of the contract, we can make it shorter. That's a little bit more attractive to some sellers. Number 4. Investigate material facts. So what can material facts be? Well, we're near Luke Air Force Base here in Phoenix, and if you're in a neighborhood where there's a flyover, you want to be out there at several different times during the day. And I always advocate that my clients go out and visit homes morning, afternoon, and evening before they make that offer. It helps with a couple of things. Is there going to be a lot of jet noise flying over that house? What are the neighbors like? Does the neighbor next door get home at 5 o'clock and just crank the stereo up as loud as they possibly can? I have a neighbor like that down the road. Really nice guy, but he's holding outdoor concerts for all of us, and some of us don't really appreciate it. Some other material facts you might find interesting are: has there been a homicide in the home? Has it been used as a drug lab? Well, they don't have to disclose if there's a murder in the home, but they do have to disclose if it was a clandestine drug lab. So ask that question. If the agent knows, they have to reveal that, but they don't have to disclose it in the seller property disclosure statement. Sounds gruesome. So look at material facts, facts that are important to you that would cause you to walk away. Have a list of those ready, and I'll ask them for you. And the 5th is just settling for just okay. You've been out in the market for a while, you've seen plenty of homes. None of them really float your boat, but you realize you really need a home, so you settle on one. That could lead to a lot of regret and dissatisfaction and wondering why you got into the house to begin with. So again, when we talk about your wants and needs, we're going to find out if those homes meet those, and we're going to try to show you the homes that meet what you want to see. Now, a lot of times we're going to focus more on the needs than the wants, because I've had clients come in and say they want a 4-bedroom, 3-bath out in the country where there's not a lot of traffic for $300,000. That's not going to happen in Phoenix unless you drive way out in the country. But what are your needs? Do you need 4 bedrooms? Do you need 3 full baths? Those are things we're going to plug into the MLS and see what comes up. Also, driving time to work, we want to consider that. So we're going to draw a circle around an area, a radius, that ensures you're not driving an hour and a half to work every day and an hour and a half back, because the traffic in Phoenix goes one way in the morning and one way at night. Also, if there are children in your household, is this a home that has good schools? We're going to look at the schools as well in the neighborhood. So those are really the top 5 that I've noticed while being a real estate agent, but there's one more I want to add that occurs after you make the offer, and that is buyer's remorse. As soon as you make the offer, sometimes people begin to question themselves. Did we make the right choice? Are we spending too much money? And then they go to Redfin or Zillow and they start looking at other homes on there, thinking maybe they can get out in their 10-day due diligence and find another home. Ask the questions before you make the offer. I'm going to help and represent you to do that. It's normal for you to go through that buyer's remorse. It's not really remorse, it's just doubting yourself a little bit. I'll walk you through that. And believe me, I deal with first-time home buyers a lot. That's really where my heart is. That's the group of people that I really like to help the most. And they're the ones that are a little bit more skittish in a lot of ways about, are they making this big decision? Is it the right decision? Could I have done something different or better? Stop. I'm here to help you answer those. And if I can't answer them, I'm going to find professionals that can do that for you, including inspectors, including home warranty companies, including walking the neighborhood with you at night just to see what it's like. Because I want you to be happy and know that you found the right place for you. If you found this information helpful or important to you, please like, subscribe, share this with someone who may also be looking for homes right now. And anytime you just want to have a cup of coffee, give me a call.